Hey Lovebug, if you happen to be new here, my name is Mercy Yvonne and my channel is all about being the intersection between faith and fashion. So we're going to serve the Lord, but baby, we're going to serve the Lord as well. I hope all of you are staying warm because this winter, baby, we have been receiving some extreme temperatures. That is why I want to kind of highlight to you my updated outerwear collection. I have a video on my channel that is from the top of last year, 2024, of some of my outerwear pieces. So I want to do an updated video. I just want to give a disclaimer. None of the pieces that were in that video, even if I still own them, are going to be in this video. I want to show you more of like maybe never before seen pieces or pieces that have not gotten that much shine or highlights. That are new into my collection. Majority of these pieces will be thrifted or secondhand. So if that is your vibe, go ahead, grab your snacky snack, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with giving this disclaimer so I don't necessarily have to like repeat myself too much in the video. If it is a thrifted outerwear piece, you can automatically know that it was under 15 bucks. If it was secondhand or bought retail, we're going to say that it was under 30. So I just want to keep that in mind. So if I say secondhand or it was bought from a traditional retail store, then you can automatically know it was $30 and below. But if it was thrifted, then you'll know it was at least below $15. So I just kind of want to make that disclaimer so I don't have to keep reiterating. So that will kind of be your code to kind of gauge how much I spent on that particular piece. So if you watch one of my most recent Thrift With Me's, then you've already seen this. This is a 100% virgin wool bomber coat, and she was indeed thrifted. It is by the brand Dash. I did talk about being a little hesitant in purchasing this one just because I do not wear a lot of gray. I wear a lot of brown and black and things of that sort. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get her, but I felt like she was definitely fairly priced and 100% wool, and it's a bomber jacket, so it is a fun style, not just like any other gray coat that I have in my collection. So I thought that she was definitely a must-have, and I got this from the men's section. It was my first time being to that particular thrift store, and she is a beauty. She is heavy duty, and that is the one thing about wool. I have not taken her out for a drive just yet, but she is definitely a beautiful coat. I do love, because I do feel like this kind of can be worn maybe even inside out because it has this lining on the inside and this red detailing all around the jacket, and I really do love that touch. Next up is this coat. This is a never before seen coat because I literally have only had her for like a week. I just got her like cleaned up and everything. This is a thrifted coat that is originally from Betsy Johnson, and I really do love this. It has this like faux fur around the neckline, and it is detachable. It's detachable by the buttons, and I love that it has that pleated detail to it. So to me, that gives a very feminine silhouette. But when you look at the details of like the buttons on the sleeve and then like this button detail right here, it gives kind of military style, and I really love that. I love, if you're not new here, then I've already talked a million times how much I love a balance between masculine and feminine, and I do believe that this coat gives that. And then with the fur, leans into the femininity, and if you want to detach the fur off, then you can always go without, and I think that will lean a little slightly bit more masculine into that military utilitarian kind of look. But she is a majority of wool coat, and she is beautiful. She does need a little bit of a lint roller, but she is definitely a beaut and fits me like a glove. So next up is a coat that you've already seen if you watched my Thrifting With Me in ATL video, and this is by Liz Claiborne. It is faux fur. She is a beautiful coat. I have worn her. She definitely does keep you warm for sure. I love that faux fur just adds a different layer to a look by incorporating texture, and I really do love that element. She is a beaut. The sleeves does get like a little wide and they kind of like flare out a little, which is a detail that I love, but she is so warm and cozy, and you definitely have to be careful when you wear her, especially living in Florida, because baby, if you choose the wrong day and it's not cold enough, you might just have a heat stroke. So definitely be careful because she is really, really warm. So next up is this faux leather bomber that is from Ross. And I believe I got this in the men's section. I had to replace my faux leather bomber jacket because the previous one that I had got destroyed. You do want to be careful, especially if you are buying things that are not like natural fibers, like faux leather. You do not want to have too much moisture getting into your clothes because that can definitely cause wear and tear on your clothes. And so I had to replace my previous one because there was peeling. So you definitely want to keep that in mind in how you store and take care of your items. With proper care and maintenance, you can definitely make your faux leather pieces last a lot longer. And one of the things I love about her is that it has that gunmetal hardware. So if you do see it, it's gunmetal, but if you were to close it, it's all black. So it makes it very neutral. So no matter what your metal of choice is, be it silver or gold or even rose gold, it will go with any outfit, and I do love that. It's a bit oversized, but I think it is a beautiful coat. So next up, we have this moto style jacket, and it is by Windsor. This is secondhand. I also had to replace my previous black moto style jacket because same reason, it had started to peel because of the moisture in my closet, and so wanting to be very intentional about it. So keeping that in mind, I did get this one, but I was also very intentional because my previous one had silver hardware, and I realized I wasn't reaching for her as much because I wasn't wearing silver as much as I used to. So I'm wearing a lot more gold these days, and so I needed another one to have like very neutral hardware. And once again, it has that gunmetal detail with some of that black matte hardware finish on it. So it does make it very neutral. It has the zippers on the sleeve. I like this one because this is a little bit more feminine leaning and lightweight, where the bomber coat is a little bit more heavier and like oversized and masculine leaning. So I do love this coat. She is really good, and it's like buttery soft, but it is faux leather. This is probably definitely one of my favorites in my collection, hands down. She is purchased from Ross. It is a cheetah print, and she is gorgeous. I wore this, and one of my babies was like, "Oh my gosh, your coat is so good." And she's 5, so she's like, "Where's all your coat?" And she has like a leopard one, so we were kind of like twinning that day. But this one is so good. It is so good. Like I said, I got it from Ross. She is so warm and cozy, and of course it is faux fur, but she is so soft and fluffy, and she's so good. Like, she is so good. Ross is like, I ain't playing with him. Like, she's good, and she definitely keeps you warm, and she's gonna serve you a look. Like, if you have to choose between being warm or serving a look, I'm going to always advise choose warmth. But if you get some really, really good statement coats and really good coats that have maybe some texture or a nice color or a nice print or something that makes it very, or even a really fun silhouette that makes it a pop and a real statement, you can do both, okay? You don't have to choose one or the other, but make sure that you're choosing wisely. If you have to choose warmth. But she is so good. Like, just look at her. Next up is a secondhand coat, and it is originally by H&M. It is my trench coat. It's in like this khaki color. It does have the belt and it has the matching buckles on the wrist. I love this coat. When I wear this coat, I get so many compliments. Now, I do think she is more so leaning towards fall and springtime. I really reach for her. She is good for winter, but you really have to like layer, really pull in to layer if you're gonna wear her for winter. But she is so good. But I reach for her primarily during like fall and spring when we're in that in between. And I reach for some of my heavier coats while we're getting colder temperatures. But this is so good. This is a classic. Like, if you probably don't have any other style, I think a trench coat is probably one of the easiest styles and most flattering styles for any body type. And so you really just have to find like a color that you really enjoy. And it has kind of like that tortoise shell on the buttons as well as the buckle. It is so good. I get so many, I don't know if I said this, I get so many compliments when I wear this. And I do want to just highlight some things, food for thought. When you are finding coats or items, sometimes the pockets are sewn shut. You just have to rip them open. Like, sometimes people think that the pockets are not like usable or functional pockets, but you just have to rip them open. And I also want to highlight that if you ever get a coat and it is like sewn at the bottom, rip that open. You want to always open these vents. So sometimes people don't know these details, so I definitely want to like always highlight. So if you get a coat or a blazer and you notice those details, oftentimes if it's sewed shut, you just have to rip it open. You can cut it open, and you can really make your coat or your blazer very, very functional. Sometimes people don't know that, especially if you are shopping. I find it a lot when I'm shopping in the men's section that men's clothing have a lot of those details, but you may find women's clothing that have it as well. So definitely keep that in mind, because there are many times I'm out and about and I realize that people have not noticed those little details. So I would definitely say keep that in mind and keep an eye out for those little details that will help add to the function of your coats and blazers. But she is really, really good and she gets a lot of use. And this is probably a forever piece in my collection. I love her. I think that she is one of the best colors of khaki. So she is really good. Next up, we have another favorite. Now, I knew I loved her when I laid my eyes on her in the store. She is secondhand, but I did not realize how much I was going to reach for her. She is a teddy coat and she is so soft. She is so soft and she is very warm. Like, this is definitely one of those coats you put on as you are getting ready to walk out the door. Don't be trying to move around the house in it, because you might just pass off from a heat stroke. And you do want to be careful depending on where you're going and what the temperature is going to be when you get there, because she keeps you warm, especially if you're going to layer underneath, baby. She keeps you warm. She is so good. She's originally by Hollister and she's good. It has buttons and pockets. Pockets for me, and I have to say this, pockets are non-negotiable for me. Like, I'm not getting a coat or blazer or anything like that that does not have functional pockets. I do not like it. I don't understand like why some of those details would not be, especially on a coat. Like, not having pockets on a coat to me is weird, because like, what are you gonna do with your hands? Because not everybody wears like gloves. So pockets are a necessity. She has become one of my, definitely hands down, one of my favorite coats, and probably one of my most used coats this winter. I find myself reaching for her a lot, which is very surprising. But she is really, really good and she's really warm, and I love the extra layer that the texture adds, as well as it just feels like you're wrapped in a blanket, and that is just so warm and cozy. Like, having to be out, because sometimes you don't want to be out, but if you're gonna be out, having a coat like this does help. She is so good. Okay, now one of my babies is just like, Marissa, I love your coat, it's so soft and fluffy. So it's really good. Next up, we have this genuine leather bomber coat that I thrifted. Is by the brand Boston Harbor. It was in the men's section, and this was one of the only things when I went and got this. This was the only thing I picked up from that store in that location, because this coat was just that good. She is a bit oversized, but I do love that feel, because typically I do like bomber jackets in particular to be a bit oversized, and then of course if you're going to layer, you want to have that room. She was a beaut, and it's genuine leather. And if you don't know, suede is a form of leather, so it is like the sueded version of leather, but she is so good. I have not taken her out for a spin either, but she is definitely a beaut in my collection, and she's very neutral, so I do believe that she'll get a lot of love. So next up, we have this coat. I think we're all aware that leopard is trending. I got her last year before leopard really became a thing, but leopard has always been my go-to print, so I'm not really surprised. I don't know who's a buy because it does not have a tag. It kind of gives me Bessie Johnson vibes. I'm not sure if she is the creator, but it does kind of feel like something she would do. It's majority cotton. It is more of a lightweight jacket, so she's more perfect for your like spring and fall weather. I have not really pulled her out in winter. I have not pulled her out for winter, but she is really beautiful, and it does kind of have like that tortoiseshell marbling on the button. So I really do love her, and it has this hot pink lining that I have not really highlighted because I'm not really a pink girl, but this coat is so good. Oh, I gotta take a brief intermission, baby. My arms is hurting. So we're gonna switch to the other side because, baby, whoo, carrying these coats is a workout for you, girl, okay? So we're back from break. So next up, we have this cognac moto style coat. I have had this jacket for several years. I bought this jacket when I bought my original black leather jacket, moto style jacket that had started to peel. I bought them around the same time, and this one is still in really, really good condition. I'm not really sure why, but they were stored the exact same way, and this one has absolutely no peeling on it whatsoever, but this was indeed secondhand. I love this cognac leather and color. It's so rich and vibrant, and I love that it has gold detailing. I do find that you can find sometimes colors that you love, but the hardware to me can throw the entire jacket off because I have to make sure that it aligns with my style and my go-to metals. And majority of the time, you're going to see me in gold. And a color like this, a cognac rich color, anything in like the browns and nudes and tans, I'm more than likely going to wear gold. I'm not gonna wear silver with those. So having hardware that aligns with that or does not at least clash is always something that I consider. And so I've left many jackets and coats in the store because of the hardware. Like, if that doesn't matter to you, then go off, right? But for me, that can be a deal breaker for a coat or a jacket. So this one having gold hardware, which is always hard to find, especially on a moto jacket, was so good. Next up, we have this jacket, and it is like a faux suede. Once again, has the pockets, is vibrant, solitaire. I got this secondhand. It does have the belt detailing at the back. Majority of the time, I wear these open to show the fit underneath. So I do tie the belts at the back, just kind of like a nice little knot detail to not take away from the look. But she is really, really good. I've had her for several years. She's not new in my collection by any means. I feel like this past like fall and winter, I definitely have been reaching for her a lot more than I've done in previous years. Because I really am sitting in how good this color was. I think at first I loved the color so much, but it was kind of stuck in how to style it. But also now I've also incorporated other pieces, or realized I had pieces that will go really well with this color. So I really have been loving on her a lot more. She's a faux suede. I don't know if I said that, but she is really good. She is more of a, I would say, fall spring kind of jacket. I have not really been reaching for her that much in this winter because we've been having some extreme temperatures, but she is more so for like maybe 60-70 degree kind of weather. So next up, we have this coat. She is secondhand, originally from Shein, so she is 100% polyester, if that matters to you. It has the belt detailing, and it does have pockets in here. They kind of seem hidden a little, but there are pockets, and she is really, really good. I was in the store, I was in Plato's, and I literally walked around the entire store and then went back around just to double check, and then saw her and was like, wait, I didn't see you before. So I literally missed her, but she's so good. And I like this red maroon color. It's already like my color family, my color palette anyway. And I've been giving her a lot of love, and she's definitely been a statement, been a pop-up color to add to a look. But I've also recently worn her as a monochromatic look as well. So she is really, really good. And I know a lot of people want to stay away from synthetic fabrics. But at the end of the day, she do keep you warm though. She is a really good coat, and she is actually very warm. So she has been getting a lot of love this fall and winter season. Next up, we have this burgundy faux fur coat. Oh, she is so good. I got her secondhand. I picked her up from Clothes Mentor when I picked up the Teddy coat. She was not on the rack with the rest of the coat. She was sitting kind of behind the counter, and I was checking out, getting ready to buy the Teddy coat, and I said, man, what is that? Is that for sale? And she was like, what? I was like, the burgundy faux fur, the burgundy fur coat. And she was like, oh yes, it is. Would you like to see it? And I said, yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I would. And she showed it to me. I tried it on, fit like a glove. Loved her. She is soft and she's luscious. And you know, like, when you get into like faux fur and certain textures, you have to be very careful because sometimes they can look very cheap. She, to me, looks very, very lush. She is so gorgeous. Now, I'm just gonna show you the name on the tag because I don't even want to butcher it. Good. It does have this gray lining. It has the snap closure buttons. So if you see it, so if you have it open, you will see some of that silver hardware, which does not bother me. And if you have it closed, you won't see any at all. Of course, has pockets, and it comes up high on the neck to add that warmth that you need. She is beautiful, and we know burgundy has been a trending color for the fall and winter seasons. But baby, I've always loved burgundy. Burgundy has always been my girl. Burgundy, maroon, any type of red has already been a love for me. So this is not new. But to be able to get my hands on her, oh yes, she is really good and she is warm. This is another coat this is a true like winter coat. You reach for her when it's cold outside, okay? When it's brick out there, you reach for this chick, okay? When it's brick, reach for this chick, okay? She is so good and she's so beautiful. Oh, I just love her so much. So last but not least is this beauty. If you watch my Atlanta thrift with me, then you already seen her. She's not a stranger, but she is a 100% wool coat with 100% genuine leather on the lapels. It is by Paris Sports Club, and she is good. She, of course, has pockets. Now, she is a little oversized on me, and my best friend jokes and be like, there goes your choir robe. I don't care. I don't care. This coat is good, and I was not leaving her. She was coming back to Florida. I don't know if she had ever been to Florida, but baby, Florida is your new home now, and she is so good. I love the detail of like the red and black marbled buttons. Of course, has pockets. That is a non-negotiable, and she is just so beautiful. I love the like pleating, I guess, is this what you would call that, on the shoulders, but I also love how balloon the sleeves are. I have it kind of like rolled up a little because they are a little long, but this coat is so stinking good. Like, oh, just look at her. Just look at her. She's so good. So that is all of the outerwear that I have in today's video. Please sound off in the comments and tell me which one is your favorite. If you've really made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. So we will have some new videos coming up real soon, and as we are moving into February, I do want to push out some like Valentine's Day content and maybe even some Black History Month type of content. So if you have some ideas or things that you would like for me to touch on and make videos about, just go ahead and talk to me in the comments. That is the way that I see you. That's the way I get to chat with you all. And I always love loving on you all just like you love on me. So thank you so much. But that is it for today's video. I hope to see you back here next week for another video. But until then, remember that I love you. God loves you. So remember to always, and I do mean always, love you too. Smooches, love bug.